Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour. I'm joined, as always, by my lovely, wonderful co-host, Alexander Volts. Say hello.
I would like to be referred to as the most beautiful white rose from here on out.
For real? Or is
no, it's
is that an actual lyric, or did you?
Well, we're talking about Mr. Charles Bradley today, aka the most beautiful black rose, aka the screaming eagle soul, aka Black Velvet.
Okay. This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a new discography, more or less, per episode. And today, like Alex very thoroughly mentioned, is Charles Bradley.
Those are the best nicknames, though.
They're all wonderful. I'm jealous of every single one of them. Oh, boy. This, oddly enough, is the most recent artist in our history of doing this podcast. It makes no fucking sense.
Well, it does.
I guess
he's. If you didn't know, he has passed away.
He's recently passed. Very sad. But before that, because we want to talk about this.
I know
we want to talk about this so bad. If you have any suggestions for artists you want us to talk about, or you hate us, or you love us, or whatever, send everything you want to everyalbumever@gmail.com. You know, like, share, subscribe, all the things that'll help us. Of course, you're not obligated to do anything because you're a person and you have your own life. And of course, be sure to check out the Charles Bradley playlist on Spotify that we've put together for everyone. Picks of our favorite songs. You can find those
on Spotify.
On Spotify, or there's links to the playlist in the descriptions of wherever you're listening or watching, and of course at everyalbumever.com. And there's a playlist for every episode that we've done. So there's tons of stuff that we put together, and there's plenty of other things you can chew on and all that. Okay, back to Charles Bradley.
Yes.
Beautiful man.
So beautiful. The voice, the story, this. I remember. You ask, so what's your how'd you get into Charles Bradley? I'm just gonna go into it. We would go to Amoeba, and Victim of Love would this be on display? Or who
the fuck is that Victim of Love?
And what is a victim of love? And
you know damn well what a victim of love is.
Well, I'll explain it to our listeners. I believe Dylan Gabig was like, it's probably this like when you toss.
Dylan Gabig is a friend of ours, but
toss someone's salad and they don't return the favor, or like you do it and then they leave you and this break your heart.
That's upsetting.
So now we'll joke around a lot, and including John Bowers, another friend. Be like, oh, you've never been in love before? Like you've never
you've never had a salad tossed your way, nor have you partaken in the feast yourself.
But yeah, and then again, going back to Dylan, he saw there was a documentary about him. It's not on Netflix anymore, and he's like, dude, you have to watch it. It's fucking crazy. This man's life, like someone who calls himself a victim of love is probably over exaggerating or being very melodramatic. Like after you watch this documentary, you're gonna be like, "Fuck that man."
That man, love has not victimized anyone more than that man.
No, it's in his face.
If you're not watching the video version, there's Alex owns all of the albums, and they're displayed behind us. Charles Bradley put out only 4 albums, all of which that we'll be talking about, of course. First one was released in 2011. The last one was in 2018. Huh?
Yes. Which also, and side note, he's 62 years old when his debut album came out.
Thank God he's not a young guy with that face.
No.
That would be more sad,
victimizing.
More love, victim, whatever. Okay, I know, all I know is that he's an old guy and he's been shat on by the world for most of his life.
Oh man, yeah.
And then he found success very late in life. Very brief period. He was very successful and then he died.
Yes. And like, I knew he was 1,000,000 years old and I was like, I got to see him live. And I saw him twice.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, because I I hate to be this guy, but like time was not on his side.
No. It was a good call.
Yes. So, and like, I think because he wasn't like a touring artist, his voice was amazing still. Like, usually singers get older, but I think it's because they've like put the strain and stuff on it where like he was a James Brown impersonator.
For real, James Brown impersonator. That's already funny.
Yeah, and that's where the Black Velvet name he would perform as Black Velvet.
It's a wonderful name. That's a wonderful name.
And then they like, I forget one of the dudes who runs Daptone Records who put out Charles Bradley and Sharon Stone, a lot of like what you call it, like I don't know, new funk artists. And then they met up with the Menahan Street Band, who performs on all the albums as well. They're this as important as Charles is.
For sure. It's almost weird that if you look on streaming, you'll see that it says featuring the Menahan Street Band like on every song.
Yeah.
It's on every album title and then also on every song. Like, yeah. When did they become a part of Charles Bradley?
Well, I think Charles Bradley became a part of them, and everyone at like Daptone was just like taken aback by his like personality. Like one of the times I saw him, he hugged everyone after the show.
Aww. That's so sweet.
It was so beautiful. Like,
God damn it.
Yeah. And yeah, I think everyone was just like, man, what a personality. Like so engaged by this dude that we'll get into it when we talk about the albums, but like some of these songs were meant to be Menahan Street songs, and they just gave them to Charles Bradley.
Wow.
So
God damn. And this is going to be the first we didn't discuss this.
I didn't ask the first soul artist we've covered. Because most soul artists have a crazy long discography. Oh, yeah. So,
and a lot of it's bad. But luckily, he didn't get famous until he was almost dead. And now there's a chance, there's an opportunity for us. Sorry. No, I didn't discuss this with you, but I feel like, just throwing it out there, I feel like there's probably not a worst album on this episode. Maybe just a least favorite.
Yes.
By circumstance.
Yes.
That's because 4 albums, and spoiler alert, they're all good.
They're all good.
Can't
go wrong.
So it's all a matter of preference for our best and worst. It really. I think there's going to be an argument for all of them.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. And then, all right. End of episode. What are we doing now? Well, so continue with the backstory.
So yeah, like his mom gave him up when he was like 8 months old.
Okay, already a victim of
already.
I wouldn't call it a victim of love. I call it a victim of not love.
Yes,
victim of bitch. Out of another circumstance.
And then I believed he lived in Gainesville, Florida, until he was 8 years old, and then his mom took him back. And then he was in Brooklyn, and he was like illiterate up until like he was like 63 or something.
What?
Like he couldn't read or write.
Really?
Like that's what I mean. This man is a victim of like the system
of life in all of its many forms.
Like there's a certain song that we'll get into where he goes over his story.
Yeah, his like literally step by step his entire life.
And yeah, he's done like a stint in prison. I forget what for. Although I can't imagine what. Like maybe he just fucked up, but
maybe
because this man is so sweet. And then like in the documentary, there's like his mom is not in good health, obviously, because he's 60 around the documentary. And then so his mom's got to be, I don't know how old. And like his brothers and sisters are like coming at him trying to get money because like, first of all, he probably didn't even make that much money. He's not like Justin Bieber famous.
No.
But yeah, everyone's like trying to get at him. And even though like he took care of his mom and he like totally deserved her house when she passed. I don't know what happened with it, if he ended up getting it. But his brothers and sisters are trying to get a piece, and he this fucking loves them all anyways.
God damn, he's a better man than I, because I would not love them.
But yeah, he had a rough life, and I'm so glad he got to live out his dream in the twilight years. And
it's super fucking depressing and also very sweet. It's like a sappy kind of. I don't want to say sappy. That kind of implies other things, but
I'm pretty sure someone will turn this man's life into a movie one day.
It better be an Oscar winner.
Oh, it better. Who would I cast as Charles
Bradley?
You can't do Morgan Freeman because he's a little too like somber.
Morgan Freeman is too Morgan Freeman. He would just be Morgan Freeman over it.
My name is Charles Bradley.
No, it's not.
And I'm a victim of love.
God damn it, Morgan. Every day with you. Oh, man, that's a good question. Who would I feel like someone obvious that comes to mind, but I can't think of it.
You know, he's a little huskier than Charles, but I'm going to go with an off. I would do Craig Robinson. I think Craig Robinson.
Really?
I think Craig Robinson with like some makeup.
Are you high, my friend? What's going on with you?
No, because Craig Robinson can like sing and play instruments and.
Yeah, I guess. But man, I wish I could cast James Brown as Charles Bradley. That kind of ironic twist of fate kind of
maybe
thing.
They could cast Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, since he played James Brown.
There it is. And now we've settled it, and now the argument's over. That's what's going to happen. Oh, boy. All right, let's jump into it. First album.
This is 2011, No Time for Dreaming. Such a Menahan Street band.
Oh yeah,
these guys are.
Yeah, it's produced so classic R&B.
Yeah,
but better.
And then Thomas Brennick of the Menahan Street, who's the guitar player, he produced all the records too.
Did he?
So.
Interesting. Because I'll let it play for a little bit. Fucking gorgeous. Okay.
Man, yeah. That's I feel like maybe Why Is It So Hard should have been the opener. This cuz that's a great intro to Charles Bradley, but I feel like this song in general is still good because it's kind of Charles Bradley in a nutshell. Where like the music's so good and it's kind of uplifting, but he's this he's dealing you the hard facts of life, and the world's going up in flames.
This is the one I gave best. This is my favorite.
This is personal favorite.
Personal favorite?
For me. Yeah.
Really love this. And I was saying a little bit earlier, it's produced like it's classic Motown soul, but better. So everything is performed better. Everything is cleaner. His vocals. They're distorted when he goes loud, which is like a sign, not a sign, but like it was common in those days because of, lack of technology. So it's very much, you could tell it's done on purpose here, or it was just recorded in a way that, it breaks as it gets louder. And it's this weird thing where it feels nostalgic. It feels classic, but it also feels fresh because the songwriting is not just rehashing the old soul R&B genre. It's definitely everything about it qualifies as that, but they're different songs. They're inventive. It's all fresh.
Yeah. I know some people, like, if you just show them Charles Bradley and they'll say like, oh, well, it sounds like James Brown or whatever. I'm like, that's not the point. Like, the point is what the man is singing to you and how it's all real. And also, yeah, like on those older like soul and funk tracks, like a lot of the instrumentation is kind of buried. Like, I love how crisp and clean everything is here. Like, usually people don't think of guitar when they hear like funk and soul, But on these records, it's very prevalent.
Yeah, it's there.
And not this because the guitar player is producing it.
No, it's even as fuck. And then the bass has that really dubby kind of that really resonant low end, which is it's very indicative of that era. So like again, like it feels and sounds like it was recorded, 50, 60 years ago, but everything is clear. Like you were saying, it's clear, but it's not, because a lot of that stuff, the production is not aged well. It's a little, it's not dissonant, but it's fucking, can be kind of ear piercing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is just, I don't know. Like if you were, this is, I bet how people heard it in those days.
Yeah. Or like what it was meant to sound like.
Yeah. Like,
also I just think like Daptone, that record label, is so crazy because if you listen to like Sharon Jones or like a Menahan Street Band solo record, or I think it's the Voodoo Street Band or something, or even like El Michaels Affair, and all those members are like in here. It's kind of like a revolving door thing a little bit.
mm-hmm.
Like it all sounds crisp, it all sounds clean. So like that record label, when finding like people who can play their instruments, did and probably still are doing a great job of signing like current funk and soul artists.
One thing, I like this album a lot, obviously, but for most of his albums, like every song is good. But for this one, the reason why it really kind of went over the edge and made it my best is because no two songs in a row feel the same. So like that opening song was high energy, but minor key and darker and a little sadder. But it fucking quickly changes. The next one is more upbeat. And then it goes to a fucking ballad. And every single song keeps mixing it up. The rest of his albums don't do it nearly as much.
Mm-hmm.
And that one kept me like, when I first heard this, I didn't want it to end. I was like, don't fucking end yet. Don't. And I kept listening to it, obviously a bunch of times in a row. So for that, it's everything I look for in albums, for every track to kind of to reinvigorate my interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly does that. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
For me, it's this. I felt like there was the most consistent like tracks that I enjoyed, like Telephone Song, which is the song after, is like the intro is this like him talking on the phone, like, hello, baby.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's hilarious. And then Golden Rule. Oh man, like doing to others, man. Bitch, go back. Go back to the Golden Rule. Like if you as Mike says, if you don't agree with that, you're an unreasonable person.
Just an unreasonable person. That bass line, and what is it? In You I Found Love, or In You I Found a Love.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. Like, I mean, the bass lines are great all over the place, but they're fucking scratch my little bass itch. What is it? I can't even read my fucking writing. My eyes are actually getting worse. Loving You Baby. Oh, fantastic. So
one of the most
good.
Beautiful songs ever written. That song, when he says, I was crying when I felt your love. And then he opens up a little and he says, no more afraid to open the door and let you in. Man, the man showing growth on the track too.
One thing I will say about his vocals is that you've heard him before. You've heard people like him. You've heard James Brown. He sounds a lot like James Brown. A lot of that. He sounds like an old black man.
Yeah.
And it's great, but range is limited. He's kind of got the wail, and that's pretty much it. His entire career, he's pretty much just done the wail.
Yep.
And it works 100% of the time on this record.
It's what he knows, and it's what he's good at.
Exactly. On other records, I didn't feel like some tracks, I'm like, man, it's a little hard for this song. For this one, every song it works. It works perfectly. Another reason why I love it so much.
Why is it so hard? Another like standout, essential Charles Bradley track. That's telling you about his life.
Yeah, that's the one where we talked about his life.
Yeah.
Literally where he was born, where he moved
to Poughkeepsie.
The horns on that song are so fucking heartbreaking which makes the song feel even more heartbreaking. It's already heartbreaking.
Yeah, they're so originally that was a Menahan Street band song,
Mm-hmm.
and it was written as like, why is it so hard for like bands to make it in America? Because you can like usually they'll like in Europe they appreciate bands. And
Mhm.
you can go all over the world, and then you come to America,
You
and
give a
it
fuck
sucks. And then he ran it by Charles Bradley, and Charles Bradley like reworked it and like.
Let me tell you something about it being hard. All right, you guys don't know shit.
And then he just realized, like, I was kind of this being a privileged asshole. Like, you're right. This is Charles' song now, because he really had it hard.
Oh fuck, it's so sad. It's a sad song, but it's so man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so sweet of the Menahan boys to be like, okay, no, we're not going to complain about how hard it is for us.
And the fact that there's such a good band on their own, that's rare as fuck. Like, maybe I'm just like jaded because of all like the LA-ness, because nowadays it's really hard in a lot of places to find people that like to play one instrument and then that's it. Everyone kind of wants to be the center of attention. I'm guilty of that as well. Everyone wants to be the main person. Everyone wants to be the sole contributor. Sometimes it's more important for the art to just play your part amazingly.
Yes.
You don't need to
That's what everyone does in this band.
It's fucking gorgeous. God damn it. I love this song.
And then where they like really shine is Since Our Last Goodbye. Like, it's just an instrumental track. Man, it feels so good. I wrote that it wouldn't be like out of place in like a Mario game or a Paddington movie. I also wrote, it's a perfect song to ride a tandem bicycle in the park.
You've teased it too much. You got to put it on right now.
All right. It's, oh man, like these guys just.
Because all their instrumentals are they're all great. They're all great.
Just hitting home runs. Man, you could throw this on at a family gathering.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You and your friends just hanging out.
So this also does a thing that I didn't note, but it did stand out to me a lot that I don't agree with. God damn, it's fucking awesome. Okay, let's talk, because I'm gonna just get like absorbed. It's so pretty. Where it's produced like an old record from the 50s, where you got all the drums in one ear, you got all the guitar in the other ear, you got all the piano in one ear, you got all like it's all a mishmash, and it's not there's a thing where you do in production where if you're panning it super hard to one side, you'll do a little delay, so the other ear will get some of the reverb or some of the delay. It kind of gives it more of like a three-dimensional sound. Back in those days, it was 100% in one ear. So if you didn't have if you're using earbuds and you didn't have the other ear in, you would hear a zero. You wouldn't hear any kind of echo. You wouldn't hear it. It would be zero. You would hear only the drums and nothing else. Yeah. That's what you would hear. It's like that on this album, and maybe on the next one as well. It's annoying. It's super stupid. It sounds great with both speakers, and it's not often you're listening to just one speaker. So it's a stuput complaint, but it does stick out when I'm like working out and I only have one button and I can't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that's just a little side thing. It's together. It's fucking fantastic. So that's my best Hazard Pistol favorite.
Also, real quick before we move on, Heartache and Pain is the last track if you have a physical album, and then there's 2 cover songs, but we'll get into those later. But if you're on like Spotify, iTunes, there's 2 more tracks. We're gonna get to those.
Yeah, and that's how I was introduced to it. So
we could do it either way. You want to talk about them now?
If you're new to Charles Bradley, because for sure no one's buying the fucking record if they haven't heard him before. Let's do it now. Let's do it now.
All right. Fuck it. Yeah, those cover songs are so random. He covers Stay Away from Nirvana, and then Heart of Gold, which starts the trend of him doing cover songs, and they're to me, this Charles Bradley song.
he made them his. And here's what I'll say. I actually do still prefer the original Heart of Gold. I love
it's
Neil
a
Young.
great song still, but
what he did to Stay Away is incredible. It's amazing.
Yeah, it ticks. We've talked about cover songs before, and it ticks all the boxes for a good cover song. It's 100% unique.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even sound like
it. Barely. Like, it didn't hit me until maybe after my second or third listen. That was like, wait, was that Nirvana? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Let me throw it on real quick.
Yeah. Yep, that's Nirvana, all right.
Yeah, I love the bass and the guitar on this.
That's a great sound too.
Monkey see, monkey do. I don't know why. I'd rather be dead than being cool.
You know what? I didn't even realize until this cover that Kurt Cobain was saying, I don't know why, doing it. I don't know why. Because I could never. I've been listening to Nevermind since I was 5 years old, and I never understood what he was saying. Yeah. Not even exaggerating either.
Don't know why.
Leave it up to Charles Bradley.
Get let that chorus come in because it's actually using the Nirvana riff, but it's kind of better.
Love is blind. I don't know why.
God damn.
Stay away.
God damn.
So good.
So damn good. Oh man, y'all got to listen to that shit. Fuck man.
I think on YouTube there's footage of just Charles and Thomas, just the two of them, not the rest of the band, with like an acoustic guitar doing Heart of Gold. And so many things are heartbreaking and beautiful about Charles Bradley, and Heart of Gold is
yet another
just fucking, man, just changes the way you look at the world. And that song, because I mean, he does have a heart of gold too.
Yeah.
If you're a victim of love, you can't. You
have to be.
Yeah, you have to be.
Goddamn. So it's your best. I mean, your personal favorite. This is my best and personal favorite. This one, I'm going to go back to this one countless times after this. So we're on to 2013, Victim of Love,
the one that started it all.
Yeah. Oh, such a taste when you said that. I don't know what it's called.
This band could stop on a dime.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired.
That transition.
I'm tired.
Oh, because it's so good.
City people tried to get in my business. Just me and you. I know, baby. We gotta get on through and go somewhere.
Yeah. It was. Fuck. Okay.
Strictly reserved. I gotta get it in.
Too good.
Oh man, yeah. So this is the one that started it all. This is like where I saw his face everywhere.
Look at that face, man. Tell me he's not a victim of love. Tell me.
I mean, sometimes album covers are pretty abstract, but this album cover tells you everything you need to know.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yes. Initially, I thought this was going to be my personal favorite.
Right.
But No Time for Dreamin' took it. I think like the first three tracks, like Strictly Reserve, You Put the Flame, and Let Love Stand a Chance, aren't the best to open an album with.
Yeah. I don't care much for. I mean, You Put the Flame on it is okay, but it feels like
it's good. It's a fun song, but
I don't like it that close to the beginning. It just feels like yeah. And Love Bug Blues, I just don't. I don't care for it.
I like that. I like how dirty it is. Love Bug and Confusion, they're this like dirty funk. They sound like they could be on the Superfly soundtrack.
Well, Love Bug Blues sounds like it should be the theme for a 70s detective show. It sounds exactly like that.
Superfly.
But Confusion, it feels way more advanced. That song is
It's
real good.
It's almost metal. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
play a quick second because you really just need the intro. Some funkadelic inspired psychedelic.
Can you stop?
This is so psychedelic.
Oh yeah.
That fuzzed out bass.
Confusion!
Hell yeah.
Confusion!
Oh, that's real good.
People like
Okay. Yeah, that's a good fucking song. God
I
damn.
want to like hit the streets and solve a mystery for some reason. That song also reminds me of Curtis Mayfield. If there's a hell below, we're all gonna go, because it kind of starts off the same way.
Mhm.
This is a little shorter intro than Waddies, Jews, crackers. I love that song. So this is just as good. The title track though will fuck you up.
Dude, it's heart-wrenching. It's
As-
heart-wrenching.
My tattoo artist once said, not about this song, but about I think he was talking about a Bowie song, but it applies to this song. It really, really pile drives the soul.
It for sure does. I do think the backup vocals are hilarious. Like when they start saying skip a beat, it's fucking hilarious. It's like I mentioned this very, very briefly on a Christmas episode with the Beach Boys. Whenever backup vocals start telling a story, I lose my shit. It's the funniest thing in the world to me.
Yeah, there's not too much. Of
No.
that going on
But
here.
just that song actually. That's the only time I actually laughed. But
Dusty Blues.
mhm.
I wrote, what kind of magical spaghetti western are we going on here?
I thought it was like another version of like the Rocky theme. It was just it's as triumphant.
It's so good. There's an organ solo in there that's fucking great.
Mm.
I got a random poll.
Mhm.
So because I'm on a trend of comparing songs, where do we go from here? I'll play a quick bit of that.
There's all the drums in one ear. If you're listening on headphones, fucking goddamn it.
All right. I
Oh.
want you guys to keep that guitar riff
Yeah.
we go from here.
in your brain.
I've heard it before.
I fast forwarded a little. Playing some of the Melvins. Billy Fish is the song.
Well, that's definitely not the same riff.
Well, no, not this, but
You know,
you don't think they sound similar?
it's similar, but it's not. It wouldn't hold up in court.
No, for sure. I'm not saying it's a rip.
I know that.
I just got those.
Right here. But no.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different song.
I think I know which song you're talking about. I don't remember what it's
I
called.
just played the wrong Melvin song.
I think you did. I think
Okay.
I think the one you're talking about is on A Senile Animal.
Either way, whatever. I played some Melvins. It sounds like a Melvins riff. It sounds. I got the wrong song. I got the wrong fucking
Melvins
song.
were definitely doing a lot of shit that sounded like that.
Dun, 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 dun.
Plus, that to be fair, those chord changes are real common.
Yeah.
Real fucking common. Like I actually hated that chord change.
No, I
a lot.
wasn't trying to accuse anyone of
I know.
theft.
I know.
This that you don't expect the Melvins to come up in a Charles Bradley.
You don't. And also when you I'm glad you brought that up because when I was listening to this, I was like, I know I've heard this, but there's one specific song I'm thinking of. I can't put my finger on it. It's the Melvins. That's the
Yeah.
one I was thinking of.
I thought it was Billy Fish, but it's probably a different one.
I will say almost for sure it's on A Senile Animal because I listened to that one a lot, and I've only listened to Nude in Boots maybe once or twice.
I should
I
have.
wouldn't remember it if it was.
I should have listened to 2 Melvins albums before. But
How
whatever.
could you, Alex? How goddamn dare you?
On top of the Charles Bradley, this is to get the exact song. I'm sorry, I like y'all astray.
Anyway, it's still a good ass song. I would say they're both still good ass songs.
Yes.
Even the Melvin song you put on was a good ass song.
Crying in the Chapel, another heartbreaker.
I I think
Hurricane's kind of weak.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember. I know
towards
I'll know
the
it
end.
the second you play it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But I will say that through the storm, I think is my favorite of all of his ballads.
I'm gonna play that real quick.
You do that.
Just
Yeah, this whole album is pretty ballad heavy, actually. There's a lot of
I mean,
ballads
as
on
it should, if you're gonna call it Victim of Love.
here. Yeah.
I thank you for helping me through the storm.
Goddamn, I sing this all the time.
I thank you.
It's never really stood out to me, but maybe
Really?
I'll like start because Mike likes it. Maybe
Love it. Love it.
It's been a long time.
Oh, and those acoustic guitars in the right ear only, but still.
Damn. I think another reason this fucked me up is because I was like, okay, I'm gonna start writing about Charles Bradley on Sunday. I'm gonna start writing about it, do my deep dive, and then at the time of recording, that's the day Kobe died.
Oh, it's not gonna be released for a few weeks, and it's all old news at this point. But at the time of this recording, it's not quite old news.
It fucked me up. It's
Yeah.
still very recent,
Dude. And I don't want to dwell on it too much because it'll be super dated. But I don't give two shits about basketball, and even I was like, oh my god, life doesn't care. Oh my god,
dude.
like it's that really cold realization. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Life doesn't give a fuck. Life doesn't care.
Yeah,
You're gonna die regardless, and sometimes it's gonna be in a really weird and unexpected way.
Mhm.
Life doesn't give a fuck. It's fucking sad. It's really dark.
Also, I think people forget how young Kobe is because he's been in our lives forever. He's only 41.
It's
Man, and then like that while listening to Charles Bradley albums will
that'll
really
break you.
drive it home.
Oh Jesus Christ!
So that's like heavy on my mind.
Yeah.
while I was listening to these, and
It's almost perfect in terms of like when to like go a deep dive on Charles Bradley. It has to be during some kind of tragedy.
it is like even like Charles Bradley dying didn't like hit me too hard because you're like, he's old.
It's the unexpected nature. It's an icon that you don't expect to go out like anybody would go out.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like sports people don't really like die randomly, and like, also, if you didn't know, we live in LA,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, I don't know. It felt like this shared sense of dread.
Yeah, I did a
It was like. It was foggy that day too,
Yeah.
and it was just like there were too many things that.
I did a mic an open mic that same day.
Oh,
and
shit,
Man, that room was cold and dark, and
As it
everyone
should be.
now no one laughed at a single joke that all the comic there were good comics with good material, and they were all bombing.
Oh yeah, that's not
yeah.
their fault. That's not their
Yeah,
fault.
it was a dark day, and it's so weird because like people were going up saying like on stage like, I don't even like basketball, but I'm upset.
It was literally a dark day.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't know.
Man,
Yeah.
so I needed to share that because at the time of recording, it's still heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just another reason to just spend the hours you got doing what you love to do. Money doesn't mean shit because money doesn't give a fuck. If life decides to kill you, money ain't gonna help you.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Although sometimes it can, because I guess you can get better doctors.
I
but-
guess if you're gonna go crashes,
no, yeah.
money will not buffer your impact if you get in a car crash.
Grab a loved one. Don't become a victim of love yourself.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. Some of these Charles Bradley lyrics are this good life advice. I'll get into those on the next album. So some of these, take some of these lyrics to heart. And
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's move on.
man, we're going through some changes, and that's the next one in 2016. Charles Bradley changes. I'm gonna play the second track.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
First track's got a bit of a winded intro for not too much music.
Good to be back home. Where I was born.
I should have timestamped like a good screech,
Back home.
like when he does that.
Yeah. I mean, he does them all over the place. You just listen to one of his songs, it'll pop up.
Sometimes it hurts so bad. Sometimes so good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So good.
God damn. Okay, that's real good. Let's talk about it.
So this, I think, his best album.
Really?
Yep.
I can see the argument.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking album. Like I said, like every album is good and can stand up on its own if you want to make it. Yeah.
I forgot to say this. I feel like Victim of Love is more diverse, but it's just kind of missing the way the songs came through on No Time for Dreaming. And then this song's like the complete package to me.
This one's more consistent. It's got more moods. There's less ballads overall. More consistent, but also less. I don't know. There's still a lot of stand-up tracks in this one. You know what? I will. We skipped it, but I will note that this is the only time I've ever enjoyed "God Bless America" and ever.
Oh yeah,
Because I don't fucking like that song at all, but it sounds great on here.
Charles Bradley could cover any and every song.
It works so well. How the fuck?
Dude, Charles for change. I wear that every time I go to vote, so people think he's like a politician.
It's much more important than a politician.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't wear the pin. I should have dug up the pin, the mic. Charles for change. Yeah.
But you're wearing the shirt of Changes right now.
Yes,
Which is
inspired because Changes is the Black Sabbath song, which everyone knows by now.
I hope so. It's a great fucking song.
So that was originally put out in 2013, and me and Dylan would always be like, "That's a killer fucking song. Like it needs to be on an album." And I'm so glad
That they
Yeah.
This was the last album when he was alive that he released.
Yes,
Yeah.
fully thought out. This is technically like his final album that he like participated in. Ain't gonna give it up. I'm gonna play a little bit of that because I love how much the bass and the drums are in lock, how they change on a dime. It's just a fucking, again, Menahan Street, just killing it.
That is a sexy ass bass line.
Oh, I'm gonna backhand someone.
It's something he never said.
No.
Maybe not his Twilight years.
The way you make me feel. You make me feel so real. The way you
Yeah, it's just a real,
Yeah, it's fucking real good.
solid.
Virtually everything I said about the last two can be applied to this one as well. It's same style, same. I mean, the production's getting better. It's more. It's a little bit more full. There's more. I don't want to say synthy stuff, but little nuances. That little that fucking $6 Million Man sound effect that they throw in every now and then. And overall, it sounds. Still has that kind of nostalgic R&B feel, but it's getting better, getting more modern, getting a lot punchier and more satisfying.
You want to know the ultimate Charles Bradley punchy song? Boom.
That's it right there.
It's gonna
I tried.
big check track.
I tried to be a righteous man.
Didn't work though.
All over the world. But I'm tired of being you.
Tell him, Charles. I love this song so much.
Dude, that intro and then this riff, it sounds like a Rage song.
To love.
Rage should cover it. Rage should
They really
cover it.
should. They really fucking should.
Get out the world.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh man.
Man,
I do feel like a lot of these albums can just be mixed and matched because
they can.
They're
it's
all
kind of one long album.
It really is. And they're all good. They never venture out of that classic R&B soul style. They never, and they don't need to. There's, it's like, I was not left craving something different. They're all the songs are unique enough, and it's just, I don't know. You don't, that wail is just enough to carry it.
So good. Earlier, I was talking about Charles Bradley lyrics you can this kind of take with you on Ain't It a Sin when he says, it's my turn to love and be loved. It's my turn to get out in the world and let my spirit speak. Fucking
God damn it.
Great
Preaching
advice.
self-love. God damn it.
If you ain't going to do me right, I might just do you in. Get him, Charles. Don't keep that lyric. That's just a good cold ass, awesome thing.
But you know, the sentiment is there, you know, surround yourself with people who are good to you. God damn it. I'll do you in.
When on Crazy for Your Love, when he says, I've been all around the world looking for love, I was like, damn, even in his 60s, he's still.
Hey, man.
If you're the victim of love, I guess you're going
to. I don't know, man. Did he ever find love before he died?
I don't know. I hope if he had like a special
lady.
Yeah. I hope so.
I know.
I hope so.
Yeah. I don't even want to Google it. I don't want to find out.
Things We Do for Love. Probably like the most doo-woppy Charles Bradley song.
Which one's that?
This one.
Oh yeah.
It's like the impressions or something.
Yeah. It's a good song.
All right, yeah, I knew that. Change for the World. Fucking closing track. Just
the
horns and the breakdown. When he says, stop hiding behind religion, hate is poison in the blood. Gets me.
Also, I mean, are we going to talk about the actual Changes cover?
Oh, yeah, we can. Fucking, again, it's a Charles Bradley song now. It's not a Black Sabbath song.
Listen, I love the original Changes. This one might surpass it for me. This one might do it.
Call back to the CCR episode when I said the Tina Turner version is Charles Bradley.
You're wrong.
I'm right.
You're still wrong about that. That hasn't changed.
I'm right. If Mike's wrong, just let him know. The Charles Bradley Changes is way better.
I wouldn't say way better because I love the original Changes. I think I'll actually. You'll not hear me praise Ozzy very much.
Yeah.
Just in general. But I love the vocal lines he chose for that song. Bradley changes them a little bit. He makes them more soulful, makes them more like Charles Bradley. As a whole song though, like where the original Changes was it was mostly just piano. This is now a full fucking like
another song.
I will not try to butcher it with my verbiage. Just listen to the song because he does wonderful things with it.
I guess we should just play it. Although, if you've seen the show Big Mouth on Netflix, it's the theme song for the show.
And there it is.
But it's just another one of his that'll just fuck you up inside.
So good. So good.
So here we go. This is actually the Voodoo Span. It's not Menahan.
That delayed guitar right there.
Yeah, everyone gets an A+ who did this cover song.
Fucking good.
I feel unhappy.
And again, you're like, oh, that's about your life. It's not.
Yeah.
It's so perfect for the life you lived.
Best friend that I ever had.
Man, I'm gonna listen to the whole song. I can't.
Man,
too good.
Yeah, usually like now you could skip themes on TV shows if you're watching it on like Netflix or Hulu. I never skip Big Mouth because
God bless you, man.
It fucks me up every time.
It's fucking perfect. God damn. And I was surprised to see other bands like it's not. She didn't just stick with Menahan.
Yeah, He also worked with some people called the Bullets on Ain't It a Sin.
Mhm.
I think Menahan may be like stretched a little thin because one time I saw him, they weren't his backing band. So I think they may have been like stretched a little thin. But,
I'm probably doing their own thing as their own band
but
too.
that's why I gave like Daptone as a whole and like the Budos Band and El Michael's Affair and all those members are
Mhm.
kind of, jumping in and out and doing stuff with like Sharon Jones as well, who
Mhm.
we should cover. But yeah, that's why I like shouted out all those bands because they all have the same type of like mindset mentality and they're all this really solid.
Mhm. Well, that is your best. I enjoyed it. I get the argument for best. I just didn't. Maybe in another few months, I'll change. Like it's that kind of thing where
I have been listening to Mr. Bradley longer than you have. Too, so
So
different feelings.
I'm sure my opinions will change throughout because I'm a fan. I'm a fan now, and I really find it difficult to believe that someone could listen to this and be like, nah. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like it's like that. It's that genre perfected. It feels like.
Yeah, if lots of times you'll say we'll play stuff sometimes not on the podcast, but you'll be like, "Do you even like music?" And that's how I feel about Charles Bradley. And yeah, I don't think like I get the James Brown comparisons, but it's just like,
Well, I have beef with James Brown personally. No, not
man.
personally, but no, not. I don't care for him because all of his songs are the same song. Like
I disagree. He has a wild discography, so we're never.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Well,
but-
not never, but
There's like this performance that everyone cites of James Brown. It's like a recorded thing. All these famous bands were on the same bill. I don't remember a single one of them.
It's probably the Apollo.
Probably
Live at the Apollo.
the most famous. There was like a million equally famous, and everyone says like he was the best. He took it. He stole the show. I saw the whole thing, and I was like, yeah, he put on an amazing show, playing the same song over and over again.
I disagree. Like
He does it well. I didn't say he's not bad. It's the same mood, the same feeling. I'm sure there's obviously deviations every once in a while, but
what about bitch? This is a man's world.
this is a man's what? Yeah, no, it's good. But like I
That's
said,
totally different than Sex Machine.
and they name all the ones that sound like Sex Machine. There's a lot of them. There's exactly what
Although
I'm
I
saying.
think Sex Machine's one of the greatest songs ever. So
It's called Sex Machine. Of course it is. It's absolutely one of the greatest songs ever.
get on up.
Get on up.
Dude. Yeah, I think like this because I said we probably won't do for like a long time.
Until
This,
we can
like,
get some time,
dude, when I saw him do a performance where they drape the fucking cape over him and they have to carry him off stage and he takes the cape off and runs.
He runs back.
I was fucking hooked.
Yeah.
I was like, he
does it like 6 times per performance.
Yeah, I'm like, he's the best.
He's a professional wrestler at that point.
It's so funny and like overkill and like ever since I saw that.
No, it's a great. He puts on an amazing performance. It's just like I said, reason why
the songs.
I love the first album so much because every song changes the mood, changes the feeling, changes the not just the tempo, but the whole feel of it. That's what I look for in my artist. I'm not saying he doesn't do what he does well, but just
Sure.
personally.
Yeah, he's got a million albums. That would need to be like a four-parter.
Yeah, I might kill myself. I don't want to do that.
Also, James Brown is the reason Apollo Creed dies in Rocky IV. Like he sings out Apollo Creed and he's like dancing and singing with James Brown. The man is winded. No wonder he got his ass kicked. He's out there dancing with James Brown and then
This is the most controversial opinion you've ever said on this podcast.
Oh yeah,
James Brown murdered Apollo Creed.
He was part of that. I don't think Apollo Creed would be dead if he wasn't out there singing and dancing with James Brown before hitting the ring.
All right.
And with that,
good God. Okay.
We're on.
Last
I'm
album.
not even doing my job. I'm just all worked up about
Over Apollo Creed.
a fictional character.
We're on to the last album. This is 2018, Black Velvet.
Who hurt you, Charles? Who hurt you this time?
The world.
fucking gorgeous horns.
Can't fight the feeling.
Also, the production sounds a little older. You can tell this is an older song.
Yes.
Let's work it out. Don't listen to everybody, baby. Listen to your heart.
Another good advice. Don't listen to everybody. Listen to your heart.
All right.
Okay.
So
This is the worst.
yeah, by default, it's the worst.
Because this was released after he died, and this is just cover songs and tracks that weren't good enough to make the albums.
Yeah.
So like by default,
Yeah.
it's not like a formed album, but more Charles Bradley's always good to me.
It's still a good album. It's
Yeah.
still a real good album. What did it for me was like the fact that I'd already heard "Stay Away" and "Heart of Gold" a million times,
Yeah.
and they're on here in the middle of the album because I didn't realize that the first album those are bonus tracks.
Yeah, they weren't like packaged that way originally. So like if you're like me and you had his albums, this is the first time you could get Heart of Gold, and they were released as like EPs, maybe on Record Store Day, which is a zoo, and I won't get into that. But so they were like EPs, and then this was like the first time you can get them on a full album.
At this point where streaming's everywhere and streaming's a thing and everyone has streaming, it's significantly
I'm in
less.
the minority. I totally am.
Yeah. And then the last track is a louder, more electric version of "Victim of Love."
Still just as good.
It's just as good as it's just as good, but also you've heard it.
Yeah.
And those that coupled with like a few tracks that I just didn't care for.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, this is my least favorite, but still good. There's still a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, that opening track is fucking phenomenal.
I mean, yeah, like I said, these are songs they felt weren't good enough for the album or were cover songs. So
Mhm.
it is a hodgepodge of things, but because his career was so short, I'm like all for the album because this is like pretty much all he has.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm all for all these songs being collected on this. Love Jones is real fun, and even though I get the feeling that maybe that's a song they were kicking around and it didn't finish because his vocals aren't on there, so they bought in a
Oh, is that why? Because what it says, like, that doesn't sound like Bradley at all.
yeah, I'm not sure if that's what happens, but you kind of get the feeling when you know the vibe of the
Yeah,
album.
I didn't
So
care for that song.
the person doing that is LaRoche Jackson.
What has
So,
he done?
I don't know. I just want to give the dude
All right,
credit because
all right,
I think it's a fun song, but it's not really like doesn't have the patented Charles Bradley vocals. on it.
No, it does not. No. What else? I mean, there's a lot of just the same things, echoing the same statements, like horns being fucking phenomenal.
The title track is an instrumental, and I think that was recorded as a tribute to
Aw.
him. So it's
Aw.
real beautiful because Black Velvet was his stage name.
Right.
When he was the James Brown. So I'm gonna play a bit of that. So yeah, I don't know if it was recorded after he passed away, but it feels like it.
One thing I did feel about this is that it's overall more depressing than the rest. It's overall sadder, and I'm not just saying that because it was a posthumous release, but just there's way less poppiness on here. Like this alone, this is already fucking super dark.
That's why I get the feeling that maybe they did this as like a tribute song to him.
It's real good.
I mean, it's as good as everything they've done so far, or thus far.
And then he covered your favorite artist, Rodriguez.
Oh God.
What'd
Listen.
What'd you think?
I'm sure he's a fine guy, but also he's a fucking. Well, the documentary is a fraud.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
him. He's not a fraud, but the documentary is. That's why I fucking hate documentaries, man. You never know what's an actual story and what's actually true.
But yeah, Slip Away. It's this more like again, like if you just threw it on, you're like, yeah, that's a Charles Bradley song. You don't know it's a cover song.
Like, yeah, a lot of these. If you told me it was a cover, I wouldn't realize. A lot of them I had no fucking idea, and I still couldn't pinpoint which are his and which aren't. Aside from "Stay Away" and "Heart of Gold."
Yeah, it's just those three, and then the rest are just stuff that didn't make the cut for albums. So still a good listen. I mean, if he hasn't won your heart over, like if you're a fan, like listen to it because his such like a big personality that like
shines through.
Why would you not want to hear more Charles Bradley?
Goddamn right. And that's exactly why we listened to everything that he did.
Yes, his last two songs.
Last two singles.
This song is the saddest fucking song.
Oh, don't put it on.
So he has two songs called Lonely As You Are and Lucifer. These are like the last two Charles Bradley's songs we're going to get. And oh my fucking God.
Yep.
Oh, God.
I think this is like the first time it's like real piano too.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
You think you've been
Randy Newman?
lonely, but loneliness is mine.
Fuck.
It's lonely.
The production is way
Ain't
different.
bad as mine. You think you've been suffering, but suffering is mine.
You can hear every crack in his voice.
Lonely as you are, it ain't bad as mine.
Okay.
God. So that song gets even sadder when he starts talking to his dead mom.
Yep.
I want to cry every time I hear it.
That song, especially with what I talked about earlier, that song hit a nerve with me.
It's so powerful. It's so fucking depressing. Oh my God, dude.
Like Lucifer, the other song he put out, is a good song, but I was so over, and I've been so overwhelmed with this one that like I'm gonna have to come back to Lucifer because
in a moment,
dude.
So obviously good songs. The production on them is completely different. It sounds like just some regular modern producer just said, okay, now we're going to do it my way. There's no R&B Motown feel.
Mm-hmm.
There are synths now. His vocals are way in the front.
Yeah, I almost wonder if he like did like the vocal tracks and they like reworked.
It sounds like it's like a stock band.
Mm-hmm.
There's no authenticity the way every other album kind of drives it home.
Like
still good songs, but
yeah, like I wasn't sure if there was synths on Lucifer.
I believe there is. Yeah.
He's got some good like screams on that song too.
His vocals are strong as ever.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have a lot of range. He's got the one mode, but boy, does he got that mode. My God.
Like I said, maybe because he wasn't like performing seriously until like he was older. Like this man live, like I think even the YouTube clips like will get to you and like just as killer in person. Fucking outfit changes, not to like the crazy extent of James Brown, but like crazy jumpsuits. Fucking he told this story, and even though he's the most beautiful black rose, he told a story for why he thinks red roses are like the best roses. And he said it's because there's white roses and there's black roses, but when you prick us, we're all red on the inside.
Oh, my heart.
And that's why red roses are, the most famous. And he's like, that's why people like red roses. And I'm like, holy shit.
You just fucking make that up right now?
Because if you did, man, he was the Screaming Eagle. All the nicknames.
All the nicknames are the most true nicknames.
And what I was impressed is that in his age, he could like dance. He'd do like the spins and his voice still sounded, because I've seen like some people in their prime like move around a little bit on stage and then come back to the mic and get winded. Also, side note, Action Bronson, when I saw him, he didn't get that winded.
That's a big boy too. That's a big boy.
Yeah. Well, Charles Bradley is kind of a portly gentleman, not the fattest, but
portly's a good way to put it. Yeah,
a husky.
Yeah,
husky guy.
A little thick around the edges.
Yeah. So, oh man, seeing him live also like warmed my heart so much.
I'm envious forever and ever
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because one of them was a free concert at Santa Monica Pier.
Really?
Yeah.
My goodness.
My girlfriend at the time, she would just like go with me to concerts.
Mhm.
And she was a like real trooper about it. And she fell in love with him.
Goddamn right she
like,
did.
Like I played the records for her and she liked it, but live she was so done.
Yeah, live will do things. Live, if you're not convinced live, then you're not convinced. Period.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's lost. Even if it's a good recording, there's a lot that's lost.
So yeah, to the viewers, I don't know where you can find the documentary, but find the documentary. Just look up live footage of. There's plenty of high quality, like HD performances of James Brown or Charles Brown.
I mean, that's I guess one plus of him not getting any recognition until he's an old man is now we have the technology to make it look nice.
His whole career was documented in HD pretty much.
Yeah.
So
man, that's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird. What an interesting career. What an interesting life.
Yeah. The man. I don't know what to say about.
I mean, we've gushed pretty hard. This was one of the easier episodes.
Yeah, 4 albums. This a delight start to finish. Definitely needed it at this week.
Yeah,
for sure
in life.
So, man.
Well, let's recap.
Fucking Gnarls Bradley.
Oh, Jesus. So, chronologically, I keep forgetting which order to do it. So, best album, personal favorite, No Time for Dreaming. That's 2011. Wonderful. They're all wonderful. That's just my personal wonderful. Least favorite, Black Velvet, 2018. Just because
it's a collection of things they didn't feel were good enough.
And it's still real good.
Yes.
Still good. Alex.
So, personal favorite, No Time for Dreaming. Best, Changes. Worst, Black Velvet.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. This was fun. I enjoyed this. I'm sad.
It was fun. It was cathartic.
Yeah. I was expecting to be sad after this, but to be completely fair, I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spirits are down now. But also, it's
willing.
That's that weird optimistic sadness. It's because he was so positive.
It was Charles Bradley in a nutshell.
I'm just going to do that for forever and ever now. If you have any feedback on this episode, you want to send some hate, some love, or suggest an artist for us, please send everything you want to everyalbumever@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, share, all the stuff. It would help a lot. And also, Charles Bradley playlist. You want to listen to him now. You have to want to listen to him now.
Have to.
There should be a link in the description of wherever you're listening or watching, as well as everyalbumever.com. Instagram, you can follow me at Pope Jesse Ventura and Alex
at Mother Puncture. And
if you're interested in any of my music, my personal music stuff, you can find all that at Panda Monkey. That's a whole different shebang, though. Okay. Closing song for sure. This is Alex's pick. What's it gonna be?
So it was, man, it's hard, but I feel like I gotta go with Loving You, Baby.
Which album is that from?
That is from No Time for Dreaming.
All right. Thank you all for listening. See ya.